Thank you very much for landing on my site on how to buy a house in California with no money for the down payment.
Welcome, and thank you for finding me on YouTube or the blog or anywhere that you're on the internet about the USDA home loan. How do I qualify for the USDA loan in California? And how do I get the program? See what you qualify for. Who qualifies for the USDA program in California? We're going to go through the steps on the area, the current underwrite. Underwriting is going to change, but we want to find out first the property must be in the approved USDA lending area before we can move any further. So I got the map of California here. We're going to go through that process. We're going to go through the process on the qualifications as they currently sit today, the debt ratio, the income, and the credit score, and make sure it's in an approved lending area. So right now, let's go through what the lending areas are in California. I have the map up here, so I'm going to have the link to the site below. So you're going to go to a site like this. Once you click on the link below, you're going to go to this site. You're going to press accept. Okay, it's going to have this link. All you got to do is press accept. I'm going to grab this property here in Dixon and show you what it's going to qualify for. So you plugged in the address here, and it says this property is eligible. And you can pan out and you can see the approved areas. Anything that's in the tan areas is not approved. Anything that's not shaded or tan isn't approved. And you see it right here. This address is located in the eligible area. What you want to do is what you'll see if it's not in the approved area. We're going to take this out, click here, and we're going to go to ready. This address is not located. So this map is updated constantly. So you need the exact address, or you can get an area so you can at least establish a pinpoint so you can scroll in or out or left or right. The further you go out is going to give you a broader area search. Bella Vista up here in Redding, Shasta Lake, you can go all the way down to the street, like right here, all the way down to the street. I know some of this area is barren, but we can go down here. If anything's on, was that Churn Creek Road, down this little area, Knighton Road, that's an approved area. So there may not be any houses there. I don't live in that particular area. But if you want to go all the way down to Red Bluff, you go all the way down to the street, but this whole area is approved. Not that it's big, I'm just saying it's an approved area. So first, click on the link below. Find an area that you're willing to purchase in. If you need to be right in the heart of an area like Roseville and Sacramento, Davis, they're not going to be approved. This is not an approved area, but you can at least move on to the outskirts. So find the area, the link below to get you to this site. You remember, you got to press accept, put in the address, and press go, and it's going to at least give you a pinpoint you can move the map. Okay, so this is in the whole state of California. It's throughout the United States. But as you can see, whether you're in Northern California or Southern California, there's a lot of approved areas, but the most populated areas are not going to be approved. As you can see, the San Francisco area, Fresno, Bakersfield, then you get down to the Southern California area, and you can see all these particular areas are not approved. But if you're looking in a rural area, let's say in Southern California, in Yucca Valley, the mountain communities, then yeah, you're approved areas that you can start looking into. All right, income. Currently, and this comes out every so often. It looks like it comes out in June, but they can come out anytime they want. But as of right now in California, each county is going to have its own income limits based on how many dependents are going to live in the household. So 1 to 4 individuals, you can go as low as what are we looking at? $104,000, $103,000 in the state of California. 1 to 4, as high as $138,000. So if you got 4 people in the household, there are income limits that you cannot exceed. You can make less than that, you just cannot exceed it. Then income limits from 5 plus persons in the household, anywhere between $182, $150 and below, $138, $150, $197,000 that you can make. So you can make a good amount of money with up to 5 people in the household, 5 and plus, $196,000. Now that's in Thousand Oaks, Ventura County. But if you're looking in a particular area, we need to look at your income. You cannot exceed that as gross income with everybody that's living in the household. If you got a 21-year-old child that's living in your household and they have income, that income needs to be in that qualifying income, depending on 1 to 4 people or 5 plus people. As a dependent, that income needs to be in that qualifying income. So you cannot exceed an income limit. And that has increased over time. That is really, I mean, it was $72,000. So now you can make up to $197,000 up to 4 people. So if you're making $250,000, you like to live in an area that's qualified for USDA, but you make 250, you're out. You can't purchase because you exceed the income limit. But if you have 4 people and you're making $96,000, we need to further explore this income. Okay, so assets. You don't need any assets because it's a no money purchase program. You need nothing for the down payment. You need to speak with your realtor, though, about what's called an EMD, earnest money deposit. So you'll need to open up escrow with $500, $1,000, $2,000. You need to speak with your realtor about what you want to open up escrow with. But there are qualifying debt ratio. So that's your income versus your debt. You have a front end. The front is what the mortgage payment's going to be, along with the property taxes, insurance, and so on. The back end is the mortgage payment along with your other debts, credit cards, child support, alimony, car payments, student loans, stuff that's going to appear on your credit report, or deductions that are going to court order deductions from your pay stubs, such as child support or alimony. Right now it's 2941. So if you have a credit score below a 680, you cannot exceed a 29 front end and a 41 back end. For further explanation, call me. We'll go into detail about that in the state of California. If you have a 680 or above, you can go 32 front end and 44 back. So we can push the envelope a little bit more with the debt to income ratio. And this is not 32.02, it's 32 and below. 44 on the back end, not 44.05, 44.08. It's 44 or below on the debt to income ratio. You don't need any assets for this program. If you want to push the debt ratio, you're going to need 3 months of reserve. So if your mortgage payment is $1,000, you at least need $3,000 in stocks, bonds, IRAs, mutual funds, money markets, a retirement fund, an IRA, something like that, or the checking savings that you can exceed and push those debt to income ratio limits. So that's where you need to speak with a mortgage professional such as myself, licensed in the state of California, to see if you qualify for this program. But first we need to find the area, your income limits, their credit score, and then the debt ratio. Each lender will have their debt ratio requirements. We go down to a 620 today. That can be pushed down to a 580, or that can increase to a 640. It all depends on the lender. So for right now, that's what we do is 620. USDA does not require for you to have a credit score, but it's up to the lender if they want to do that, or if they want to do what's called a lender overlay, that they will have a 640, a 620, a 680 on the USDA, even if they're lending on the USDA program. USDA is a great program. The problem is not too many people know about the program. A lot of realtors don't know about the program. Buyers don't know about the program. Some lenders don't even want to underwrite the program. So if you're looking in a particular area like the mountain communities in Southern California, those agents in that area will know about the USDA and they will talk to you about the USDA. The USDA is for purchases only on owner occupied. You cannot use this program to buy a second home or an investment property. It must be utilized as your primary residence. So it's a great program. If you meet those requirements and you want to purchase in an approved USDA lending area in California, the link below for this site here will be there, and you can check what particular areas are going to be approved in the USDA. Like this, you press go, and this one's not approved. If it's not approved, then you need to expand your search to find the approved lending areas. You got an income limit, a debt ratio, and a credit score limit. And there are also different credit requirements, like when it comes to collections and judgments and bankruptcies and foreclosures. We need to talk about that. So how do I get a USDA loan in California? Call a lender that knows what they're talking about, or you learned a little bit about this USDA program about in this video that you just watched. I thank you very much for watching it. And who qualifies for the USDA program? Anybody that falls in the USDA lending parameters. You do not need to be a first-time home buyer, but it's a great program for first-time home buyers. You don't need to be a first-time home buyer for this. You could have sold a home 8 months ago and purchased utilizing this program. You just must meet the area limit of the approved, the debt ratio, and the income limits. That's about it. You don't need any money in the bank for this program. The great thing about the USDA program is it will allow us to finance the closing cost. But if you're purchasing a home for $300,000 and it appraises for $300,000, then we cannot finance your closing cost. You don't have any money for the down payment, but you will have closing costs. Save anywhere between $5,000 to $10,000. Not that we'll need that much at $10,000, but save as much as you can because you will have closing costs. You can get that gifted to you. We can raise the interest rate a little bit to help with the closing costs. You can get the closing costs from the seller. So there are ways to find that closing cost. Since it's no money down for the down payment, the money you put into escrow, that earnest money deposit I talked about, if you put that earnest money of $2,000, that $2,000 is going to go towards your closing costs. The closing costs are $7,000. You already have $2,000 into escrow, then you're $5,000 less. We can raise your rate a little bit, ask the seller to pay for it. You can get it as a gift, or if the property appraises higher than what you're purchasing it for. Let's say the appraisal appraises for $310,000, you're buying it for $300,000, then we can use that $10,000 freed up equity to finance your closing costs. So you're essentially purchasing a property in a USDA approved lending area in California for about $1,000 or less. You have the appraisal that you got to pay for out of pocket up front, and a home inspection. A home inspection is not required, but highly recommended. Do speak with your realtor about that. They're going to have contacts to home inspectors, local home inspectors. So you can essentially purchase a property in California for about $1,000, but it must be on the USDA program in the USDA approved lending area in California, meet the income requirements and the debt ratio requirements, and all the other, it needs to be properly underwritten. But those are kind of your basics to get started on the USDA program here in California regarding the underwriting parameters. So if you want to further explore the USDA program, I look forward to connecting with you. All my information is going to be below. Share, like, comment on the video. I'd love to hear from you. But remember, link below to get to this site. Link below also to check out the USDA rates is also below. And all my contact information is below to purchase and talk to you about a home here in California to purchase on the USDA. I look forward to connecting with you. And thank you for watching my video. Comment, like, thumbs up, share. Thank you very much.